Hi everyone, it's Sandy Chong from the Australian Hairdressing Council, and I want to have a chat with Simone Abaron from Apotecari. And the reason I want to have a chat with her is we're going to talk all about hair loss and definitely the stress that we've all been under in the last two and a half years. And because of the stress of the last 2.5 years, being the pandemic and also, our floods, our bushfires, and cyclones and hailstorms, many of us and our clients are, we have hair loss. We're suffering from hair loss. So I want to have a chat to Simone about Apotecari. Who is she? How did she get into Apotecari? What is it? What does it actually do? And why we should all be using Apotecari or taking Apotecari anyway. So hi, Simone. Thanks so much for coming on.
Hi, Sandy. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So tell me a bit about your background first, because I find that really amazing. So you're not a hairdresser, that's okay, but your hair does look beautiful. And probably because you take Apotecari, but tell me about your background, because I found it really amazing, listening to you before.
Yeah, so I'm a naturopath by trade. I've been a naturopath for nearly 20 years. I'm showing my age now. Nearly 20 years. I'm not a clinical naturopath generally, so I don't see, patients one-on-one, face-to-face. I am a formulation naturopath, and I've been a formulation naturopath for over 15 years. So my qualification, I can see patients one-on-one, but my preference is to work on the formulations that people know and love. And essentially the reason for that choice was I wanted to make a really big impact, as big as impact on humankind as possible in the short space of time that we've got on the earth. So I'm a formulation naturopath, nutritionist and herbalist, and my brand Apotecari is essentially an edible hair care range. So we're all about supplements. We're all about ingesting our wellness for aesthetic outcomes, and specifically targeting the hair. And how I got into it, I had my very own hair disaster, which I affectionately call the best and worst story of my life, where my hair was severely damaged. I had Japanese hair straightening. My hair is usually very frizzy and quite curly. So I used to get Japanese hair straightening, and it was around about the same time that the balayage trend came in, and I fell in love with the trends. So I saw my hairstylist at the time, and I said, yes, I've got Japanese hair straightening, but I would love to get some balayage. And it was at the same time where, other bond builders had just hit the market. So, my expectation was that, maybe these were the miracle that, that I was waiting for, that would allow me to combine these treatments. But unfortunately it wasn't. I ended up with essentially my hair turned to jelly and it snapped. So that was really the driving force behind this research project. It was only ever supposed to be a personal research project that grew into a brand. And as part of that process, I went and studied trichology actually at Suki's salon. And the reason I studied trichology was because I have a Bachelor of Health Science, and when you study at university, you definitely study the hair and the scalp and the science of it, but on a very surface level. And I felt that I wasn't really as equipped as I would have liked to have been in solving my own hair concern. So I went off and studied trichology, and that was incredible because I was sitting through that course and my brain was firing in terms of, okay, now I understand the hair and the science in such a great level of detail, and I can apply my biology, I can apply my herbal medicine and my nutrition to essentially target the things that I was learning. So it was really an incredible process. So no, I'm not a hairdresser. I'm now a trichologist, and yes, Apotecari is my baby.
Yeah, but I think in going through that experience, what you really do understand and what you do have is the empathy for everybody else about their hair. And so many of us, hair is our personality, hair is exactly our crown and glory, which I believe is one of your products.
Yeah.
But, hair is important. It's all about our self-esteem and our confidence. Our hair's not great, as you know, it can take some time for it to be great. So tell me about what you have developed, because as I said, the real concern at the moment is hair loss as well. So I know that your issue was with the actual hair, but losing hair from the scalp is a is a concern at the moment, going through the last couple of years and going through the stress. So what is it that we should be recommending to our clients at the moment?
Yeah, well, okay, so here's the thing. My belief system is very naturopathic in its philosophy, right? So the naturopath's philosophy is looking at things as a whole picture instead of individual tiny pieces of that picture. And so in my mind, I apply this kind of holistic philosophy to hair care as well. So the supplements are one thing. And of course, we know that when we're eating crap food, when we're under, huge amounts of stress, it can affect our hair. And I'm yet to meet a hairstylist that has not seen stress affecting a client's hair. And that is a real tangible, real tangible outcome of that stress. So yes, when I was going through all of, my hair issues, my hair woes, I had so many conversations with friends, with colleagues about what hair means to them. And it really, you're 100% right. It really is this part of the personality, part of your characteristics, which if you take that away, it's almost like a loss of identity. So the idea with this holistic approach to hair health is combining what's going on internally with what we can do externally and what's happening externally. So we think about things like diet. Supplement is essentially a part of that. We do think about topical hair products because there is nothing like the marriage of internal plus external. I often use this analogy of weight loss. So, if you're trying to lose weight, yes, you can adjust your diet and not exercise, but when you adjust your diet and exercise, that's where the magic happens. And it's really very much the same with holistic hair care, is that, as a hairstylist, you want the perfect canvas to work on. And in order to create that perfect canvas, it's about treating the hair as a whole, targeting different aspects. Even, for example, we've spoken about like internal wellness, so diet and supplements and topical stuff, so for example, using the right shampoos and conditioners and serums and treatments. It's also about the way you apply those products, but it's also lifestyle. So it's heat tools, it's silk pillow slips, it's I guess around, there's a lot more, even UV exposure. There's a lot more to supporting hair health than just what we're doing in the salon. And I think that's where Apotecari really comes into its own, is that a client goes into a salon and gets an incredible hair service, walks out looking like $1 million. How can we extend that for as long as possible? We extend that through recommending retail. So for example, we might consult with our salon guest and they might tell us, I've been using, a supermarket shampoo and conditioner. And the hairstylist might say to them, well, I've got something better for you. It's going to help do X, Y, and Z. And you're helping your client maintain their hair outside of the salon environment. Supplements are exactly the same. So what we're doing there is we're working on repairing the hair, we're working on growing hair, we're working on the scalp in between salon visits, so they can really extend the longevity and how long they love their hair for after they leave the salon. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, and I think I was really surprised to, when I've looked at Apotecari, to realise that crowning glory, for instance, is for anyone who has, if they've got a dry scalp, if they've got dandruff and itchy scalp, if they've got eczema on the scalp, and then of course the main event is for any kind of hair loss. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So with our range, we've designed the range essentially to allow personalization. So say, for example, if you've got a client sitting in front of you and they're complaining about damaged hair, slow hair growth or hair fall, for example, breakage, those are the sorts of reasons why I would recommend Main Event specifically. That's our intensive hair growth supplement. But if there was a client sitting in front of you that had scalp issues, so for example, dryness, itchiness, flakiness, eczema, psoriasis, all of those conditions that can not only be unsightly for the client and make the client feel self-conscious, it can also lead to a stunt in hair growth as well, because you can imagine every time you scratch, every you know, that inflammation on the surface of the scalp, that is impacting your hair growth cycle, and it's impacting the health of your hair overall. One of the catch calls I use all the time is that you can't have a healthy hair without a healthy scalp, and that is just so true on so many levels. So Crown and Glory is essentially our supplement for scalp health and for hair hydration and oil balance. If I can choose, I know as a parent you're never supposed to choose favorite children, but Crown and Glory is my favorite child. I think, you know, it's an underappreciated and, you know, the scalp, talking about the scalp and oil and itchiness and flaky, none of those topics is sexy, but all of those topics are very necessary, particularly for someone who is experiencing those issues. So yes, Crown and Glory is our superstar for scalp and for hair hydration. And then hair food is a really beautiful, so before I go on, Main Event and Crown and Glory are both in capsule format. Hair food is our powder format that you essentially make a beautiful strawberry and pomegranate flavored smoothie out of it, just by adding milk or coconut water. The idea with hair food is it's a source of protein, so it helps to provide your body with the building blocks it needs to produce really healthy hair, but it's also a very gentle formulation, so it's really great for women who are experiencing hair changes after having birth, for example, or people with quite serious health conditions that need a gentle solution, but a gentle solution that's still going to work. So that's where hair food fits in. The idea with each of the 3 products, and I mentioned before, the range is ultimately, it's set up for personalization. So if you've got a client with hair growth problems and scalp problems, then you would combine Main Event and Crown and Glory. If you had someone who had very damaged hair, who was also complaining of slow hair growth, you might want to choose Main Event and hair food. So you can combine up to 9 combinations with just the 3 products.
Well, that was incredible information, and I already know I would love for you to come back. We've run out of time for this one, but you have so much information and knowledge when it comes to, you know, anyone who is losing their hair or the quality of their hair or definitely their scalp conditions. So what we'll do is we'll put in the link here anyway, how to contact Apotecari, but I definitely want to get you back, Simone, because you're just like this Bible of knowledge when it comes to, you know, what supplements should we be using, hair loss, hair health, you know, like scalp conditions, all of that. You obviously know so much. So can you please, pretty please come back as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't even have to ask. I'll be right there.
You'll be our guest again real soon. Okay. Thanks so much, Simone.
Thank you, Sandy. Take care.
Bye.